Okay, so this video is created to help you identify which course you should enroll your student in at Scholé Academy, which math course, of course. So I'll walk you through our math program from beginning to end, give you some ideas of what the expectations are for students who enroll in the class so that you can make an informed decision. So our lower school math starts at 5th grade. We call that Foundations 5. And then in 6th grade, Foundation 6. Those are the classes that represent the core of the foundation needed for future math courses. So those are our arithmetic courses. They're mastering the principles of arithmetic and basic geometry so that they are ready for algebra in the future. The bubbles that are under each course show the skills that we expect students to have mastered before enrolling in the course. So for example, for Foundations 5, we expect students to already understand place value from 1 to a million. And then they are also able to add and subtract 4-digit numbers. This is important because in this year, they're gonna be studying more advanced concepts in mathematics. They'll be dealing with decimals a lot in this year and fractions with mixed numbers. So being able to add and subtract pretty quickly, multiply pretty quickly. Here we have multiply digits 1 through 10, every 10 seconds. So being able to do those things pretty quickly is pretty important for the next level of math. But that is how you would read each of the bubbles. So just pause the video if you need to read the bubbles as I go through the program. Our next level is middle school math. In middle school math, this is where students are transitioning from arithmetic to algebra. And so we have a 2-year pre-algebra sequence. That is the traditional pace for pre-algebra. In that first year, students really hone in and improve their arithmetic skills, but they also begin to venture into algebra slightly. In their second year, they venture a little further into algebra. They'll still be working on their arithmetic skills, but it's mostly expected by the second year that arithmetic is pretty strong part of their foundation. And so they're able to now focus more on studying equations and solving equations in that second year. So the first year starts to 7th graders, we call that fundamentals. That's because that is the year where you finalize all of your arithmetic studying and you begin your journey into algebra. And then pre-algebra, the course that we call pre-algebra is our second year of pre-algebra. And that is where students really begin to get ready for algebra and high school mathematics. So typically, the pre-algebra course is typically targeted to 8th graders, but obviously there could be some 7th graders in there if they're advanced, and there could also be 9th graders in there if they just need that one more year before they're ready for algebra. So it can be a range of students, not just in this class, but in all of our classes, have that type of range of students. So do what's best for your student. You want them to have a good experience. You want them to be stretched, but you don't want them to be stressed. So it's really important to do what's best for your student. Okay, and then our high school math. High school math begins with algebra, typically, depending on some 9th graders may be in geometry because they took algebra in 8th grade, but typically a high school math program begins in algebra. So these are the topics that we expect students to have mastered before they enroll in algebra. Same thing for geometry. What's important to note in these years is sometimes an 8th grader is ready for algebra mathematically, but sometimes their ability to think abstractly may be not fully developed yet, or they may not be completely ready for it yet. So sometimes they may struggle, even though they're advanced, they may struggle in algebra just because of the abstract thinking that is required in that course. So that's something to keep in mind, and it's okay, if they struggle, and just be okay with their struggle and know that eventually they will be able to overcome that. Okay, now we'll move on to our other classes. I don't have prerequisites here, but prerequisite skills here because the courses now are prerequisites. So in Algebra 2, it's Typically, you have taken geometry. Some students take it at the same time. So that's also an option for Algebra 2. In pre-calculus, you do need to have taken Algebra 2 and geometry for pre-cal. And then in calculus, you do need to have taken pre-calculus in order to be prepared for calculus. And that's the end of our math program at Scholé. Hopefully, that was helpful in helping you decide what math course will be best for your student.